Hello YouTube friends, I am going to cut a mango for you today. I had some friends over the other night and they love mangoes and they said they never eat them because they don't know how to cut them. They didn't know what the pit looked like on the inside and they just didn't know how to prepare them. So today is Mango Cutting 101. Here you have the mango. This is a little champagne mango. So the pit is flat. And I'll show you. You see the top where the mango's connected to the tree? You're going to cut on either side of the pit. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So there's one side. Now I'm going to cut right on the other side of the pit. So the pit is in here. See how thin it is? Sometimes it's thicker. There's a little white spot there. I'm going to cut that off. That's no big deal. So now you have the halves. There's a couple ways to do this and I'll show you. I'm just putting some lines down. I'm not cutting through the skin completely, but usually I do like 3 or 4 lines down one way and then across the other way to make like a checkerboard pattern. Now this half of the mango is ready to be served, and here's something really cool. Ta-da! There. Now when you're ready to eat the mango, you just go like this. You don't eat the skin. Some people say they eat the skin, but this mango is not organic, and I don't really want to eat the skin anyway. There's enough fruit in here to make me happy. So that's one way to do it. And then if you want to put this like in a salsa or something with some tomatoes and cilantro and onion, you could just cut off all the little squares. And see, then you have all the little squares. And you could chop them finer if you want. So that's one way. Now the second way, here's the second half. I cut that little white piece off that wasn't as happy as the rest. So this time, what I'm doing is cutting all the way through, and I have a tomato knife, a little serrated knife. It works really well. But then when I cut the all the way through lines, I just use the tip of the knife without the serration because I don't want to wreck my cutting board. My cutting board is my greatest asset. So now the skin's on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera down a little bit more here. Hopefully you can see that good. So now what I do is I push the skin down against the cutting board, and what I do is hold it down and just follow the right along. So here's the skin. Throw that in the compost, and here's my strips. Now these are good for freezing if you want to freeze, but I usually just put these in a bowl, cut 3 or 4 mangoes, maybe 5 or 6 depending on how hungry I am, and that's my meal, a mono meal. So here I'm going to do this part that has the curl at the end, and I just kind of push down at the end, and then I just slide all the way across. There's the second one. See? Here's the skin. And it doesn't take long to cut a couple mangoes. It really doesn't. It's easy. So there you have it. I'll leave the rest there. Now I'll show you what happens with the pit. What I do with that is, because some of the sweetest part of the mango is closest to the pit. So what I do is I cut this part here and then I just peel all the way around. Sometimes it just peels right off. Other times you need a knife. But just peel all of this off, and this is when I call Bill, my husband, and say, oh, here's the mango pits. And then he comes running in and this is what he gets to eat. It's like the sweetest. Sometimes it's the sweetest part of the mango. So you don't waste too much of anything when you do this. Mangoes are loaded with vitamin C. So one mango has more than your full supply of vitamin C. If you go by those dietary guidelines, you have more than your supply of vitamin C from one mango for your day. Also, I think you get about a third of your vitamin E. There's vitamin E in mangoes. Also, there's a bunch of vitamin A, potassium, iron, and some other things. Mango is just a really, really good food to eat. It's a good way to start your day. If you want to start your day with a mango meal, a mango mono meal, good idea. A good place to get mangoes, inexpensive, would be your local Indian market. If you have an Indian market, they usually sell mangoes by the case, mostly to the restaurants in the area. So I could get a case of probably 20 of these style mangoes for under 10 bucks. I think it's about $9.50 or something like that for a case of between 18 and 20 of them, depending on how big they are. They also have the bigger mangoes. I think they're called the Hayden mangoes, and you could usually get a case of them for $8. And there's, I'm not sure how many are in there, less than what you have in here because they're bigger. So that's your mango cutting 101. And if you like my video, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, mangoes up, and subscribe, and you'll get more information. And I know this might seem simple to some of the raw foodists out there, but hey, there's a lot of people who have never cut mangoes before, and they're missing out. They're missing out on some really good stuff. So now that they know, look for your nice ripe mangoes. It's kind of soft to the touch. Let it get nice and ripe before you cut it. Usually you could smell the sweetness, and that's how you know when it's ready to cut. You can't always smell the sweetness though. Sometimes I wait too long and let it get a little bit too ripe, but you just use your judgment. You just get good at it after a while. You start to know how to pick out fruit just because your intuition kicks in and you become such a connoisseur of fruit, and it's really fun to be that way. So I am the fruit fanatic, so I'll see you again. Take care. Love you all. Bye.